Mr. Bigsby, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Do you feel you had a fair trial?
No, I really don't.
And why?
It's a number of different things. For one, I don't feel like my attorneys were provided the proper information. Me and my attorneys never went over anything before we went to trial. Sat down and talked about anything. I never seen none of the stuff that they presented in court. There was no videos given to us that we asked for to prove any of the information that they was given, which was lies. It was all lies about dates when I went to suicide watch and all kinds of things. My son said something totally different in the first two interviews that he was given in the beginning, which was 2 years ago. Then all of a sudden my son come and say some stuff that was coerced, knowing my son never seen his brother land anywhere lifeless, none of that.
So you're saying you never got a chance to view the Commonwealth's evidence?
I never got a chance to view any of that.
Is it because your attorneys didn't show you, or that your attorneys never got it?
Either my attorneys didn't get it, because I know they asked for it in preliminaries, they didn't get it, or they didn't show it to me. And then another thing was, for one, I was ambushed because my attorneys never got to interview my son about anything before trial. We didn't even know who was going to be up there. I didn't know who was going to be up there.
Okay.
Then all of these videos that they were showing was trash videos. For one, you're talking to me through the intercom, right? I'm telling you, for one, I'm being mistreated. I'm not getting proper showers. My family was being sent information through the tablets that you use over at the jail. I was sending them up-to-date text information on the things that they were doing as far as torturing me. As far as me not getting showers, not giving me my proper medications and all that kind of stuff, which was supposed to have been on video.
At Hampton Roads Regional Jail?
Yes, Hampton Roads Regional Jail. My lawyer and my family have up-to-date text information on all that stuff that I provided. When I was going through the child neglect cases, I had sent her all that stuff. Then when I showed up to court, when I had court for the child neglect cases, and I got sentenced over there, I showed up to court. I was frail. I was like 54 pounds less than what I was when I first went in there because I wasn't being fed properly.
So let's go into that. How do you feel your treatment was in the jail?
It was definitely subpar. I was not being treated right. We didn't get to come out and get showers every other day like we were supposed to. I didn't get gym time like I was supposed to.
You produced several statements in jail confessing about Codi's death.
No, there was no confessions about anybody's death that I presented to anybody. Because for one, those statements that I gave to them was because they were talking to me through the intercom when I was telling them, when are we gonna get showers? I was asking the COs, when are we gonna get showers? When are we getting out of here? Because I had kept asking them as they would do their rounds, like what time are we coming out for showers? They would tell us, oh, you're not getting a shower today, or you'll get a shower later, and then we wouldn't get the shower. So I ended up talking to the COs through the intercom, because it's an intercom in every cell that they use, right? Asking them about shower times and all that kind of specific stuff. And I was not getting the proper answers. I said, look, whatever I gotta do to get out of here. So they kept telling me, write a confession letter then. And I kept telling them I'm not confessing to anything because there's nothing to confess to. So I said, okay, I'll write a letter. So when I wrote the letter, right, the letters were supposed to be about me coming in the house and my son being unconscious and me not knowing that he was unconscious, like it was an accident. Then all of a sudden it went from them telling me to write that, because they were telling me what to write through the intercoms. They were telling me what to write down on the paper, and I was telling them I wasn't going to write it. It went from that to them telling me specifically to write certain things that I wrote in the one letter that was X'd out.
It was written.
Yes, it was written in crayon and it was X'd out. I never turned that into anybody. They so-called said that they came in my room to do a search because I was on suicide watch, right? If I'm on suicide watch and you come to my room to do an inspection, right? What would make you flip through every page and read it? If anything, you would just shake that to see if I had any weapons or anything in there to try to present any type of harm to myself, which I never did. They even said that in court. I never told anybody that I was going to kill myself, so why am I on suicide watch? Then they said I was put over there because I did this. If a CO is walking past, how I'm going to get their attention? Hey, CO, can I talk to you real quick? Is that something to be on suicide watch for? It don't make sense, do it?
You wrote some pretty graphic details. You know, a lot of people say, how could he have written those graphic details if it wasn't?
You could tell that was trash details because for one, I never said, for one, you don't even have a body, right? So how I'm gonna give you a building number and all of this stuff where you can find my son at and then you don't find him there? That's trash. So you already know that was definitely something that was made up. Okay, then secondly, I killed my son, then I went to Busch Gardens, I did this, I went to the store, I went to take a boo-boo, all this stuff. Come on now, that don't even sound right.
So you wrote the letters to basically appease the officers to
get me out of there and take me over to the mental health ward. So that I could be treated properly, because over on the mental health ward, they have free access to roam around, to watch TV, to eat, to exercise, all that kind of stuff. They don't go through all the things that we go through over there, but I never tried to commit suicide or told anybody that I was suicidal. So I should have never been put on no suicide ward. And then they lied about how long I was over there. The 3 times that I was over there way longer than they said I was over there. And it's videos inside the jail of every single thing that you do. There's no reason why. If they say that I left a certain date, tell them to show you a video with a time stamp on it, showing them moving me from that ward over to the next ward. I bet you they can't present that. I didn't even get a chance to call home and talk to my family. The last time I talked to my family was around June of 2022. Up until the time that I left was June of 2023. So it was like a year that I didn't even get to talk to my family. They don't even have no phone calls or anything of me talking to my family during that time frame. For a whole year, I didn't get to talk to my family. I didn't even get tablet access because they took the tablets away and wouldn't even let me use a tablet.
So what was your mental state in the jail?
My mental state was always fine, just the same way it is right now when I'm talking to you. I had mental health counselors come and talk to me every day, and I would say, I'm fine, I'm doing fine. They would say, so tell me some things that make you happy. I said, well, I'm alive, I get to exercise, God is good, I'm praying, I'm reading the Bible. Just fine. There's nothing wrong with me. Why am I here? That's what I would ask them. Why am I still over here? Well, we got to talk to this person to see if we can move you back. But I never got moved back. Most of the time, there was not even a CO on the cell block watching us to see what was going on. Anything could have happened.
Okay, Mr. Bigsby, let's dive into Dina's testimony.
What about Dina's testimony?
She had shared the email exchange where you had threatened to hurt Codi.
She ain't shared nothing. What they did was they printed out an email that I sent her, right? If I'm sending her an email telling her these things, I'm not actually saying that I'm going to oppose threat to my son. What I'm saying is I'm talking to my baby mama and I'm saying, hey, we need to find out what's going on with him because it's getting to a point where, I'm ready to pop him, I'm ready to do something to him that I wouldn't normally do, but I'm not actually thinking about doing those things. It's just like as if one of your kids did something, you said, sit your behind down before I pop you, right? That don't mean that you're gonna pop him, that just means that you're thinking about doing it.
Okay.
Why would I even talk to her about that if I'm gonna kill my son? That don't even make sense. And then she said that she sent me an email, right? She said she sent me an email that was after. It was what, around January?
January,
like right before I got locked up?
Wait, sorry.
Can you do this right?
Officer? It disconnected.
Oh.
I think it was 2. Yes, thank you. So Dina had sent...
Like you were saying, right? You was asking about Dina, okay? So I told you that email was my email that I sent her. And I was sending it to her as a concerned parent, trying to get her involved with what I had going on with Codi so that we could find out what was going on with our child. Not that I really wanted to kill my child or harm my child. Anybody in their right mind would not send another parent that if they actually had thoughts of killing their child. You understand what I'm saying? And I would never do that to my kids because I love my kids too much. Then on top of that, they said that she sent me an email concerned about their whereabouts and what was going on, right? That wasn't presented in court. Where is that email? That email don't exist. That's some made up crap. You presented the one that I sent, right?
Yeah.
Where is the one that she sent me?
Well, they did. The January 2022 email where she said, "Where are my kids?"
They didn't present no email. There was no email presented. You didn't see no hard copy of that email. I want you to get a hard copy of that email and put it on TV. I guarantee you won't get it.
So that goes back to you weren't able to review evidence.
Exactly. That goes back to there was no evidence. That was all he said, she said.
You know, she testified multiple times that you kept the kids away from her after you agreed to co-parent.
I didn't keep no kids away from her. If you look into my emails, which my attorneys already know, right? There was text messages and all that kind of stuff. She was presented an opportunity to come down and see the kids. For one, and this has nothing to do about her. This has to do about a trial not being done properly like it was supposed to. Now, I'll go into that if you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So she was presented an opportunity to come down and see the kids, right?
When?
This was after November of 2021, after I had all 4 of the boys, right? She was presented an opportunity to come down and visit them. She didn't even tell me that she was coming in town. She just popped up, right? So as soon as she popped up, I seen a text message on my phone saying, "Hey, I'm 30 minutes out. I'm on my way. Can you text me the address to your apartment," right? So I responded back. I texted her the address. She never showed up. She never showed up because she went somewhere else. I don't know where she went. I don't know what happened, but she never showed up. This was 30 minutes later. You cannot tell me that you got so far as to 30 minutes away from being to Hampton, Virginia. You turned around and went back to DC, and you couldn't turn your behind right back around 30 minutes later to come see your kids if it was that important.
When did you agree to co-parent again?
When did I agree to co-parent?
Yeah.
There was never no agreement. That's already understood. Co-parenting. That's understood from the child's birth.
Then
We've always been co-parenting.
Why wasn't the text thread with Dina shown in court?
Hold on. See, you making this thing about Dina. Stop making it about Dina. Write down the stuff that I'm telling you. Write that down. Write down these things that I'm telling you, because these are the things that I want you to talk about. Not about Dina.
Do your attorneys have the text thread where she didn't
respond? Are you trying to make this about Dina, or are you trying to write down what I'm telling you?
Oh, no, absolutely. Okay, we have everything down.
Okay, get that paper, sit right here in front of me, and I want you to write down everything that I'm telling you to look for.
I can't do that because it's getting all of what you're saying right here. So we're getting everything here. Okay,
I just want to make it known on the record, this is not about Dina. This is about a fair trial. And this is about presenting the things that I asked you for in preliminaries to prove the stuff that you're saying that I'm guilty of. And I told you, as far as a confession letter, there was 3 letters that was written about me so-called coming in the house and finding my child unresponsive. Those letters were coerced. They told me to write that stuff down, and they told me through the loudspeakers in the jail, inside the cells. The COs were forcing me to write that stuff because I was not being treated properly. You could see by the clothes and stuff, my hair, all of that stuff when I showed up in court, that I was not being treated properly. There was up-to-date text information that was sent to my family during that time frame, and my lawyer, because we were on a group chat from the jail directly. I was sending them that stuff, telling them about how I was being mistreated, telling them to get the videos.
All right, and a lot of people want to know, do you know where Codi is?
No, I don't know what Codi is. I never knew what Codi is. And that's unfair too. How you gonna say that I confessed to something? If I confess to it, then I'm telling you, hey, this is where my son is. You should have been able to go get him then, and it should have been over. You should have been able to prove hard facts that I killed my son, you found his body, and this is what happened.
Did he wander away? Did someone take him? What do you...
I don't know what happened. All I know is, of course he had to wander away, but did somebody take him? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that. I know they didn't see nothing. They didn't come to me and tell me, though, Codi was upstairs and he was unresponsive and I needed to go check on him. That's a lie. My son was knocked out. My son had went to sleep earlier that night downstairs. He didn't wake up until I got frantic because I couldn't find Codi. And I went and shook him and said, hey, have you seen your brother? Before then, he had no recollection of anything going on with Codi. And he was questioned 2 times without me being present. And now all of a sudden he come up with this precise information that he's giving somebody. It wasn't even precise information because he didn't say that out of his mouth. He was asked specific questions and he gave specific answers based off of those questions that he was asked. That was coerced. And they took him away from the interview 3 times to pull him back to make sure that he gave them the answer that they wanted.
Did you ever spank or hurt your children?
No, that's trash. Where's the autopsy report proving that? Did you see an autopsy report in court?
That's what the older brother, that's what your older son
Did you see an autopsy report proving that?
There's no autopsy in this.
Exactly. There's none because it never happened. Was my kids, did you see a video of my kids when they was inside the precinct? Did you see the video of them in the room playing when they was in the room with me?
Yeah, let's talk about that interrogation. Were you voluntarily there? Did you
I was voluntarily there. I volunteered for that.
Okay.
And I gave them copies of everything that I had. I offered it over to them. I said, credit card receipts, anything you want, you can have it. I gave them that stuff. They didn't ask me for that.
So what was your reaction? They arrested you first on the child neglect charges.
They didn't arrest me on no child neglect charges because the child neglect charges was too. And I'm saying that on camera, excuse my language, but that was too because it was me telling them that I do not have a babysitter. So sometimes at night when my kids are asleep, I lock the door and I'll go to Food Lion and get them something to eat for the next morning. I'm pretty sure everybody in America, if their kids are asleep at night, you don't have a babysitter, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, you're not calling nobody to come over there. You're not waking no kids up so you can go to the store and get something that they need. If it's 15 minutes away, you're gonna take your behind around the corner and go get it and come back to make sure your kids got what they got in the morning. As long as that door is locked and they sleep, they not waking up, not in no 15, 20 minutes.
How do you respond to that? You know, the FBI.
I told them that and then they started charging me with that. You can't charge somebody with something that I told you about. That's me confessing. So what you're doing is you're setting me up because you don't have nothing to charge me with. So now you're charging me on something that I was honest about.
How do you answer for the FBI forensic examiner who said there were no original photos of Codi after June 2021?
Okay, tell me this. I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna stop what you're saying, right? You got kids, right? Do you have any kids?
I do not.
Okay, he got kids. There's a lot of people that got kids, right? Are you guilty of not taking pictures of your kids? Are you guilty of anything because you didn't take pictures of your kids? You understand what I'm saying? That's a waste of time. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no pictures. I don't have to take no pictures of my kids. Mom got pictures of them kids all the time up until the point where she stopped talking to me and stopped communicating with me. That's when I stopped sending pictures. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no pictures. That don't prove anything. That's trash. These Busch Gardens photos, whatever they say, I didn't see none of those photos. Where are they at? Let me see those photos. I didn't even see them in court.
Did you take the photos?
No, not at all. I ain't take no photos at no, if I took photos at Busch Gardens, those were photos that was way before then. And I guarantee you, if you go to those electronic devices that I have, or that I had during that time, you will find those photos in there and they will be stamped for a year or 2 years before.
The forensic examiner said they were taken in July.
That's trash.
2021.
Where is, okay, photos, timestamps on photos, right? How do you get that?
It's through data.
You want me to explain it to you? What you do is you pull up the photo, right? Once you pull up the photo, then you click on the corner of the photo where there's dots, right? It will tell you details, right? Once you click on details of the photo, it will slide over and it will give you a timestamp of that photo, right? If that's the case, then you should have had it printed in court that same way, showing there. You don't write down on a piece of paper that this was the timestamp for this was the timestamp for that, this was the timestamp for that, and then say, okay, this is the evidence. That is not. That's some shit you just made up.
You're saying the FBI analyst?
I'm saying the FBI. I'm exactly saying that. Whoever the forensic analyst was, whoever it was, that's not how you do that. That's not how you get a timestamp on a photo. You don't just come out on top of your brain and say, okay, this was that day at this time.
Let's go to during trial. We didn't see much, kind of emotion from you, but what was going through your mind?
Oh, it was a lot going through my head. But at the same time, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to sit there and act a fool in court? I gotta let my lawyers do their job. I'm gonna let them present whatever they presenting, so when they tell lies, I can do what I'm doing right now and tell you the truth. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep a level head until it's over with, and then I'm gonna talk to you about the real reality of what's going on.
Are you saying you were wrongly convicted?
Oh, I definitely was wrongly convicted. This is trash.
And you're innocent?
Yes. If you was being mistreated like I was, not getting showers, not getting fed properly, all that stuff, and not getting the things that you need, and people taking your commissary because your family's sending you money and you not getting it, not being able to call home, not being able to use the internet, you write whatever they tell you to write to.
And what are your next steps? Do you want to appeal this in court?
That's for my lawyer to figure out.
Okay.
That ain't for me. When I talk to my lawyer, then we'll come up with that. Until then,
Are you happy with your lawyers?
that's not even a conversation. I'm just giving you facts. You asked for an interview, I'm giving you the interview. And I'm giving you the facts.
Yeah, so is that why you wanted to talk?
Of course.
What's your message?
What I'm saying is you said all of these things, now prove what you said. Even the body cam footage, when the CO so-called came in the cell to talk to me.
Yeah, you were calmly writing for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was calmly writing, but what did I say when she first got in there? I said, are you serious? This what we doing? And she said, just write down whatever you're supposed to write. What does that mean? That means you coercing me to write that shit down. Because why would I ask you, are we serious? Or ask you, is this really what we doing? You see it wasn't put on the big screen for nobody to see in court. Did you see the video in court?
I don't think I was there at that exact moment.
Yeah, but whoever was there didn't see it. You know why? Because they only wanted the jury to show it, because they only showed certain clips. If they would have showed the whole video, then they would have seen it. They didn't want it to be seen.
What's your message to everyone, especially for the people who've worked so hard to search for Codi these 2+ years?
Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. I need that, because as soon as we find Codi, I guarantee you we'll find out that this is bull.
All right, Mr. Bigsby, is there anything else that you would like to add?
There's nothing else that I would like to add. That's it.
Now, would
I'm gonna
you
give
be
a shot
willing?
at the chat.
Okay.
No,
Sorry.
Stay standing.
Sorry. Would you be willing to only do this interview with me, or do you plan to talk to other reporters if they ask?
I'm not talking to no other reporters.
Okay.
I did the interview. I said what I had to say. That's it.
You're leaving it there on the table.
That's it. I guarantee you, if you go search for the things I told you to search for, you'll find out that this is trash. That's what I'm asking you. Go search for the things that I told you to search for. Ask them for the video copies of this, of everything that they're claiming that I did, right? I guarantee you, you'll find out that I'm telling you the truth if you go search for the things that I'm telling you to search for. Search for the email from her. Ask her, where's the email that she sent me asking about her kids on January 2022 that didn't even exist? Where's that email? Never seen it. Where is all the video footage of them moving me into jail from that unit where I was over there on suicide watch because I was so-called committing suicide? Look at my wrist. Do they look like they was ever being slit?
Oh, they said you never acted.
Exactly. So why would I be on suicide watch? Was there anything in my cell that you found in there that I commit suicide with? No. but you went in there and searched through a composition book and grabbed a letter that was written in crayon that was X'd out. And you know why I was in there and it was X'd out? Because I was told through the intercoms that if I tried to throw it in the trash can, they were going to get it out of the trash can. For one, for you to come in my room and do that, you're supposed to have a search warrant. I was never presented a search warrant to come in my cell and search for anything. That was set up. I got a million different things in the room. You mean to tell me you came in there and went for one composition book? And you flipped through a letter with an X on it?
Can I ask about...
You're a CO, you on duty, right? Why would you come directly to my cell from the booth to pick up anything unless I told you to come and get it? If I told you to come and get it, wouldn't that be on video if I did like this and said, hey, CO, come over here and grab this letter real quick? That would be on camera, wouldn't it? If the camera's facing towards my cell, which I know it is. Because there's a million different ones facing my cell. I would have told you to come and get it. I never told nobody to come and get anything. So in order for you to see a paper laying down in my slot, there's only one way you can see that. Let me tell you how it is. You're doing your rounds. You're checking all the cells to make sure the inmates are there. You're doing head count, right? She never did no head count. So who told her to come and get that? Obviously it was coerced, the same way I'm telling you through the loudspeaker, telling me to write that crap when I wasn't supposed to be writing it.
They said you refused to eat. Is that true? You know, what was the, you lost some nearly 60 pounds.
I'm gonna tell you what was happening with that. It's trickery to that too. It's trickery. They was bringing the trays by, right? Everybody would get trays. There were certain times where they would stop when they first came into the unit, when they first came into the cell block. They would bring the trays, right? They would stop. I'd be watching them out of the window, out of my cell window. They would stop, pull the trays off to the side, pull out of the trays, right? And then they would bring me my tray with 2 cookies in it. I was literally eating 2 cookies for 2 months. That's why I refused. Because it was trash, because I wasn't getting the proper nutritious food that I was supposed to be getting like everybody else. They were taking stuff out of my trays.
And then Mr. Bigsby, can I just ask about Tam?
Fix this,
Oh,
please.
did it? Oh, are you done? Yes.
Yes, like I said, they were taking food out of my trays. All I was getting was 2 cookies. I was eating 2 cookies a day for like 2 months until I was moved over to the so-called suicide watch. That's trash. I wasn't never trying to commit no suicide.
Okay, can I ask about Tandalia's testimony? Did that...
My sister?
Yes, your
I have
sister.
nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with what she stated or her telling any lies or anything that they claim. Maybe my sister got some dates mixed up or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it has nothing to do with me. It's nothing for me to tell you about because I never talked to my sister before they interview her about anything. So how would I have any recollection of what she's telling them?
She says you all
I wouldn't at all.
She says you all met in September 2021 in DC for this event, for this gathering.
We never met there. I'm telling you we didn't meet there.
Okay, you didn't meet on September 2021.
No, we did not.
In DC. All right. Sorry, Mr. Bigsby. I think that's all I have. Any final messages?
Right, that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
And even my son admitted, they asked my son the 3rd time they brought him in for the interview, did your mom talk to you? Yes, no, yes, no.
All right. I plan to stay in touch with you, Mr. Bigsby. Again, my name's Angelique.
Okay, Angelique.
Yeah, my name's Angelique. And my colleague is Dan. Maybe you've spoken to him before. I'm not sure. But...
Okay.
Oh, no, this is Jason. But... All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
We
You have a
appreciate
blessed
it.
day. All right.
Thank you.
Be blessed. You be blessed too, man. All right. Talk to you later. Thank you. And another thing, medication.
Yeah, in the jail.
I only took 3 kinds of medication while I was over there. The same thing that I'm taking here. Prilosec, vitamin D, and then there was minocycline for my face for bumps.
Now, why did they say
110 grams of minocycline. I wasn't supposed to take no other medication.
Is that why
Protonics? I ain't never took no Protonics. What the is Protonics? I don't even know what that is.
Why did they say they found it in your shower shoe?
Huh?
They found pills in your shower shoe? Why is that? Were you hiding the pill? Were you not taking them? Remember during trial.
You say what?
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Mom.
Oh, sorry.
Talk to me.
Sorry.
I'm tired of this. I don't have time for this in my life. I got too many things to do.
Okay. Just a quick clarification.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Mr.
Oh yeah,
Bigsby,
what I was saying was Protonics. I don't even know what no Protonics is. I ain't never took no Protonics. Prilosec, minocycline, and vitamin D was all I was supposed to take. The rest of that is trash. Ain't no proof of me taking none of that. That's a lie. I ain't never took no class 3 drugs.
Thank you.